Blessings, welcome forward to Reasonings right at the Trail Life. We're actually here at the Trail Life. A beautiful January day, as we love to say, in 2021. I love to say these numbers because when I was a kid, I often wonder, will I reach to the point where 20 becomes the first set of digits on the calendar? So now we're at 2021. You know, it's an amazing to see that we are even past that 2020 vision that they used to tell us about so much. So here we are once again, you know, and we just want to welcome you to Reasons right at the Trail Life, right here at the Trail Life. And it's an awesome 2021. Plus want to remind you of the awesome partnership between Wizio.com and Trail Life Television Network. Yours truly, the great Owl. You can send your queries, your personal questions and query about issues you've been facing in your life beyond the context of just listening to Brother Ramon, myself and Brother Bob. You can have one-on-one consultations on Wizio.com, seeking the divine light within, how to truly be happy, and of course some mini spiritual healing. There are other processes I offer outside of that, but then that is a conversation away. Also remember to check out the merchandise page of Trail Life Television Network and also Seala Media. Actually, that should be just the merchandise page of Seala Media. I think I'm thinking in the future because I don't have a merchandise page. And support the movement because you do know that it costs basically to, you know, to upkeep the channel and to keep things going forward. So it's good when you support the merchandise. I want to send a shout out to Brother Alex who bought himself a very nice Trail Life blazer. Right? So we give thanks for this, right? So once again, blessings, Brother Ramon Singh, perfect love. The Mystic Bob, perfect love. And Biniri Brandon, we call him Blue Diamond. Welcome once again, Reasonings at the Trail Life. So Brother Ramon, will you introduce the current offering for us?
Yes, how our health affects our state of mind.
That's a deep one and a good question. So, ask yourself, how does your health affect your state of mind? Bob, you wanna take this? How do you think health affects an individual's state of mind or state of being, I would say?
There are different levels of health. Mental health, physical health, spiritual health. Health like you need help, you know? You really need help, but you need help. Well, alright, if you have consciousness, you won't have no effective cause in your state of mind, and that is the health. It's consciousness, you see me? So from your consciousness, then you are nothingness. It doesn't have no form of affecting what's going on in the surrounding if you are consciousness. You see me? So, well, there's a different level where we can say these things. Because like you have food wise, you know what I mean? So if you eat bad food, the mental health will respond bad energy, you know what I mean? It give off bad reaction with bad emotional. That is the physical health, you know what I mean? But you have some people who don't get bad energy when they eat bad food because they have a spiritual health and a strong immune system where it fights off bad toxins inside of them. But it Bible said, don't overdo it. So if you keep eating too much chicken, you will become like a chicken.
Well, you know, one of the things I think about, Brother Bob, as you're talking about that, you said mental and emotional, and certain physical and spiritual health. You know, when you really get to the essence of it, does the mind affect your choices in terms of what you put in mentally or what you put in physically? Does the mind affect those choices that I'm thinking affects the health? So I'm thinking that either way you take the argument, how health affects our state of mind, I would reverse and say how our state of mind affects our health. Because I'm really thinking that if a person or so a man thinketh, so is he. As a man thinketh, so is he. As a woman thinketh, so is he. As a person thinketh, so they are. Right? And so the mental faculties, the modus operandi affects your behavioral. So maybe because you're thinking consuming of animal products isn't an issue, you'll consume animal products. But then Bob just talked about overindulgence versus any ethical basis just on not eating a thing or eating another thing. It's overdoing, which is the ethical or the unethical maximum there. If it's overeating, then it's unethical. It's not necessarily what you eat, right?
And because it's not what you think. So then put it there, what you think is what you become. But if you're not what you think, you're not going to become those things, because you're not going to be effective without the food that you need it to be, you tell me? So if you keep eating vegetables, you become vegan, you become light. It's just how the spirit plant structure in your spirit DNA in your body. That's how you know you're a spiritual person and spiritual environment, you are a conscious being. So that is why we don't deal with animals, and even though you are mentally strong enough, you can deal with animals and don't bother you, it will bother you, because certain time the cycle will become over cycle and it will be over corrupted its own self, you know what I mean? So you have to know.
So it degenerates then, in essence. So
yeah.
Mental health, as I'm saying, would affect the biological choices. But if, let's say that you have no preconceived notion of what is to be eaten, so it's not a mind affecting biology. Let's just say, really and truly, biologically, through your circadian, your body's telling you eat these things for its nutrient value, for its fuel, for its regeneration, for its elimination. It is asking for these specific things, right? And so far, if you eat these things, right, people say that you're healthy. And so then if you're healthy, then to me then it would also suggest you have a healthy state of mind. However, there might be a biological appearance of physical health that might be disparaged by the mental health. And it might be in fact because toxins are getting into the biology which aren't immediately affecting the biology
And the chemical reaction.
but it's affecting the mentality.
Right.
So I think that's probably more one of the arguments, one of the lines you're coming along with your argument, Brother Ramon, because really and truly, when I think about it, biologically, we take in things that do affect us psychologically, that causes issues within our mental health, purely because of what we are putting into the body or what is deficient in what we are putting into the body. Because if we have an elemental, mineral, and biochemical makeup, right, then it means that each individual with a specific biology, whether vegan or meat eater, right, has certain laws within the individual biology that activates a healthy way of life. Say for instance you break those laws, right? I'm thinking if you break those laws, that is when now the disparity between an unhealthy being in terms of unhealthy body and unhealthy mind will become manifest.
Right.
So I don't see wherein there could be a healthy physical being, hey, and not unhealthy mind. So I don't see that. That's why I say I could take it from an angle, because I cannot see that you would have a healthy being and there be an unsound mind, or that there be an unsound mind and there be a healthy being.
Yeah, man. So health, a person's health can be of poor health, you see me? And it can be of good health.
Yes.
So the poor health, a person poor health, alright, come my brother tell me this, you know, somebody with low blood sugar just get angry on him and just a lot of bad words, and my brother get angry and him consult and say, no man, don't get upset, it's just him blood sugar low. That's why I'm act like that way, you know. And soon as him get back to normal now, the man just calm down and nice and apologize and everything, you know.
Yes.
Just because him blood count gone low, you know.
So your brother
behavior
to restore the equilibrium.
Yes,
and the behavior, and that is why you have to
so him be react to that, not knowing say I just him health and make him a go on, so you know. So now him know. So him say next time somebody go on that way, him know what to do and say, okay, just because them blood sugar low make them a go on, so you know.
Understand the biochemical makeup and of the individual.
Because even if a little pebble, my apologies, so, you know, even a little stone in your shoes bottom.
Yes.
Whole day you walk on it. That'll go make your day uncomfortable, can tell you that much.
Well, I know Victoria will smile, because that analogy you made was exactly what's happening to me when I was walking on the hill. A little stone fell into my shoes, and I was saying to Vicky, this is one of the pleasant stones that fall into my shoes. Because sometimes soles that go in the shoes be so irritating.
Yeah,
but the
man.
nice ones that go in, they're going so nice. And you know, yeah, because they go like little balls on the feet for massage. I'm like, yeah.
True.
So I guess it can go both ways. And it can be an
True.
irritation.
Yes, sir.
And it can be a health. So Ben, Benny, what do you have to say about basically, you know, the essence of health affecting, biological health affecting mental health?
Okay. Well, first of all, my name is Nakanyah, right? No, Nakanyah, you know me as Benny Blue Diamond, right? But now my name is Nakanyah. So, Nakanyah is going to answer the question. Because Nakanyah is an Israelite. Nakanyah is going to take it from an Israelite perspective. Okay. So, let your food be your medicine, and your medicine be your food. So, coming from Hermes Trismegistus, who obviously cured every disease being a nutrition. Now, Dr. Sebi, following in his footsteps, has made us aware of the fact that the pH balance of the body is 80% alkaline and 20% acid. Meaning we have 20% leeway in order to eat things that we are not supposed to eat, or things that are man-made. So we're looking at alkaline. Alkaline being a higher concept more than vegan or vegetarian. Alkaline being the highest concept because of the proof. The proof is in the pudding. Now the pudding is Dr. Sebi's and the black inventors this far having cured AIDS and cancer. Now we're looking at this type of results. We're seeing that we're not looking at somebody who has failed at his mission. We're looking at someone who has been successful in their mission, and they have realized what it is, what their goals are, and what it is they were seeking to accomplish has been manifested and fulfilled. So when we're looking at someone like this, we will see that the revolution will not be televised because those who have really been successful have not been promoted by the powers that be. Okay, so looking at the fact that Dr. Sebi went to Nelson Mandela, Mugabe, Oprah, all of heads of state, having the cure for AIDS, and he still was not helped because the FDA realizes that people are going to realize that they are scamming the people.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, what you eat affects the way you think because your pH balance is off.
Okay.
Because you're eating 80% acid and 20% alcohol. You're eating rice and peas and chicken with a little bit of vegetables on the side. Now, obviously, if you're going to eat that way, your pH balance cannot be balanced because you should have been eating 80% alkaline and 20%. So cheaper, you throw away the rice and peas, eat a little bit of meat, and just have a big salad with your meat, like a bodybuilder.
Okay.
Since you need the meat that much, but looking at what the fish eat, we don't want to eat the fish, we want to eat what the fish eat. So we're going to eat some arami, some dulce, some hijiki, and some nori. Because those are the vegetables in the sea.
Yes, because you
that is what will really, where you're going to get the B12, which by the way, vitamins is just another scam.
Yeah.
The only reality is nutrients and minerals.
Yes.
You know, your body consists of 102 nutrients and minerals, which you will find in the purple sea moss. So be sure. So if you can't get any real food, because you don't know that what you think you're eating and thinking it's food is not really food. Because Burger King is human. We don't want to divulge too far into the darkness, as you were saying.
No names.
So
but we do get your
the
point.
burgers and the frankfurters are human meat. So don't think it's really. Sorry to inform you, the ketchup is made from cocaine, baby plasma, and
do not vomit, yeah, people, do not vomit.
Blood. So, knowing that we don't want too much acid in our system, only 20%. We have to realize that we have to take into account what the sage was saying here, that the sage is well learned, right?
Well, balling.
You have alkaline thoughts. Now, if you are not having alkaline thoughts, your eating alkaline food will not be beneficial to your person.
Yes.
Because you do not have alkaline thoughts. So if you don't have alkaline thoughts, you won't have alkaline feelings, and you won't do alkaline doing. So you won't be blending sea moss with pawpaw and bumpy bananas with some kale. You're not going to think of that because you don't have the alkaline mind. You understand? So when we're saying alkaline, we're not just talking about what you eat, because what you eat does affect the way you think.
Absolutely, I think so too.
You have chemical imbalances that occur in the brain because the nutrients and minerals are not there in the brain.
And this will come back to Nakanyah. Eating habits that, as you call them, alkaline. We call them well balanced based upon your circadian. The circadian is the movement of those elemental entities, bodies, frequencies, the minerals, and all of the nutrients, how it moves in sequence to the needs of your body to absorb, to process, and to eliminate. You understand? All that is on timing. Now, when you listen to your biology and the psychology of your biology, it will teach you what is deficient. One of the first things it will teach you is based upon your understanding. So if you do not learn it in the chemical or the alchemical script of acidic and alkaline, it will be taught to you in your desires and your sensations and your cravings. So there are acidic cravings and there are alkaline cravings. Now,
there's always doubles to every rule, you know?
Yeah. So your biology, right?
There's doubles to every rule, because you have alkaline meat, you have goat meat is alkaline, sheep meat is alkaline, lamb meat is alkaline.
Yes.
The Israelites used to eat that type of meat.
Yes,
and
yes.
the quail is also
Yes,
alkaline,
yes.
because those vixen or oxen, not the bull or the real bull, the ox.
Yes.
From ancient time, it was alkaline. Not the cow now. The cow now is a genetically modified.
Because it has unbalanced acidic hormones.
Right. So when we're looking at alkaline, we're not just saying about food that is man-made. We're talking about animals that are man-made also, and animals that are made by the Most High, which feed upon strictly alkaline food. So therefore, their meat is obviously alkaline.
Yeah.
It's the animals that have gone out of course and are going out of course with nature because of the dark manifestation of the dark energy.
Yes.
They have begun to eat meat, so their body has become acidic. So because lions used to eat grass.
Yes.
Lions never used to eat.
But coming back to the final prophecy of the end of times, the end of times says that we'll return to the original order of the cosmos, which is, as you say, the 80% alkaline and the 20% acidic. Understanding now that the body will teach you, right, what you should desire. It teaches you in the desire what is necessary. So if your desire is alkaline, like he said, it will attract to the things which are necessary to nourish the body. So it would tell you, not in your intellectual understanding, it will say to you, I feel like you should have bananas because it is low in potassium, ripe bananas, green bananas because it's low in iron, and watercress because it's low in iodine. You understand me? It is asking for something that we come to understand biochemically, alchemically, but it is also understood to us in biology as a desire, a desire to consume.
We have advanced to nanology and nanology. So within our nanological reflection, we're not thinking biologically anymore, because the biological thinking is a double thinking.
And there's an alkaline environment, you know, apart from the food head, you know, it's where to eat, you know. If you eat in a popular environment, the air circulates better what you eat in it, so it gives it that better joy. And there's a different level of alkaline awareness. When your body in an alkaline state of consciousness, you eat less. You absorb more air,
because you get quality over quantity.
Right. And then your body is more connected to the earth, rotate to the cosmos, to the moon and the sun, because once you become alkaline nature, how alkaline environment grow, it grows and stimulates your own alkaline nature in your body. So you're able to breathe more deeply and able to take in more oxygen food, more than drinking water and consume food. Because your body has it spend longer time.
When you're eating from the tree of life, then you're going to live forever.
Thank you.
So if we realize that the Most High did not make mistakes when he was making food,
Oh.
And when man is making his hybrid food, he makes mistakes because his hybrid food does not sleep at night. And it bear more than once a year, and it is easy to come by, but it is incomplete. It makes you want to eat a lot and still not getting,
because it
Camalism. It make you become camalism.
Belly full but them starving.
It's like it's
have a
cravings.
lot and still wanting, because if you're eating a lot of acid and you're becoming addicted to food, then when you drink 1 cup of sea moss, and you realize how filling that really is, because all 102 minerals are there.
Yeah, but
So your body starts to recognize now.
True. So even let's look at that a little bit now. When people bring up like the popular movements in nutrition, that's one thing I want to say, Ramon, like recognizing the difference between the alkaline diet and the acidic diet. Or the alkaline thoughts promote more modesty, a certain temperance in consumption, and a certain modesty in behavior as well too. So the alkaline lifestyle and behavior versus the acidic. But making it clear that the acidic lifestyle would be akin to what religion would say is an unclean lifestyle, because all of the ancient belief system around the slaughter of animals had kosher and halal, a certain way to even slaughter a certain type of animal when the animal will be best to be slaughtered, right? Same for when it will be best to pick your crops, because your crops don't go from just seeds to perfection in one stroke. So there are time along that spectrum where once the fruit is at a certain stage, it's good for medicinal. Once it reaches another stage, it's good for consumption of a certain kind. Jams and jellies. At another stage, it is good for human fresh consumption. At another time, it has to be boiled and stewed, right? The same thing stages along its maturity. So understanding the balance in between the acidic life and the alkaline life, and recognizing how the culture around us might be forcing individuals, Brother Ramon, Nakanyah, and Mystic Bob, how the culture around us might be actually forcing people into a more acidic life, which is more toxic according to religion, recognizing that unclean way of living is ungodly. Hence the kind of mental confusion, the kind of disassociate behaviors in psychology, dysfunctionalities now we see being normalized as right behavior in terms of the misperceptivity in even gender dynamics. That gender isn't dynamic, it's 2 genders. But yet still there's an agenda purely mental. You've got to be wondering what hormonal imbalances are happening in the uncleanness of life that we now understand is an improper way to be as a human being. Unhealthy
hormonal
life.
imbalances we're looking at now.
Unhealthy lifestyles.
So
It's all encompassing. It's a part of our health.
That is why hormone and sexual dysfunctional imbalance too. Because it destroy the fertilization, you know. Enough man become bastard man and woman become lesbian, and then unbalance their biological sexual problem. So they can't feel their own nature, how male and female feel each other, because they fascination their system, you know. Poaching their food, put more destruction music.
Toxic life, toxic way of life.
The only way to escape from them, they have to get the right plant treatment. That's why you have ayahuasca, herbal, food, through your life to break out that and get back your natural self and get back your natural morality, your natural sexuality, you know, your natural spirituality. So it's all back on we. So we have to try find these things and find the cure. That's what the Bible says. Believe cure or not cure, but the cure is in the Mother Earth.
Yes.
All cure is in the Mother Earth.
Absolutely.
And especially spiritual cure, because the spiritual cure will tell you how to cure yourself and find the element in the physical nature.
Absolutely.
And refit back your mind.
Absolutely.
That's your only.
Just to add to that, we'll find now, when we're staying in context, not going out of context with what we're speaking about, we find that the soya bean is bringing out estrogen in men.
Yes.
and testosterone in women.
Yes.
So if we're going to eat a lot of soya bean, it is going to cause us to become transgender
Gay.
or gay or lesbian or whatsoever the case may be. So we're finding another aspect in which our food
And then they use frog.
the way
then
we think.
They,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
and they
yes.
use
No, I love that point,
The
because
scientists
you gotta see
use
his point.
American science. They use frog. Peter the frog called peptidism.
Mhm.
They put on the food, become gay.
Alright, and another gay aspect, the medicine that they give mad people makes them grow breasts. And it also brings out estrogen, and it causes them to become schizophrenic, paranoid, and it does all of the things that it's supposed to be stopping.
Yes.
Which was when I saw that the valproic acid had those effects,
Yes.
I realized why it was banned in first world countries and it only goes to third world countries.
So this is understanding that we need to get clear
See
that
that it
the
is
ministry, the ministries
No
and-
laughing, man.
yeah.
You know,
No,
man.
I'm releasing
really
laugh
very
is the
serious,
best
you know.
medicine. Hold on,
We
it's a
laugh, we
food.
take bad things
No,
like jokes still, but-
no. Food is
Yes,
the
yes.
medicine. Laugh is the best medicine. Because you have some people don't know what the hell is going on, and they're eating that every day and going like them perfect with
So that's
big
what we're
money,
saying- so
million
that's what we're
dollars.
saying now.
So they have to give you money to them, but the natural things and save them too. Well,
So this is what we're saying now about the governments now. That is it that the governments now, because of these major pharmaceuticals
Yeah,
or these companies that are
and GMO food and all of
invested
that.
in giving us the toxic stuff,
Yeah.
Brother Ramon, invested in getting that kind of a acidic, unnatural, the chimera into our system, the unbalanced proteins, the acidic nutrients, into the body, which is
We
again
don't want
creating.
to get caught up thinking acid is bad.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's
Acid is
bad, but
not
No,
I'm,
but
that's what
hold
I'm
on.
saying.
It shouldn't have more than 20%.
That's what I'm saying, how it is-
of
No,
it.
but
That's what I'm saying, how it is
but
being
hold on,
placed in the
but hold
food.
on.
The foods
Right.
are
But-
heavily acidic because if you
Right.
fry
But the
foods,
problem
like
is-
fast foods are
Right.
fried
But
foods,
the-
right? Coated
Yeah,
with a lot of seasonings and fried. So those things, when you go into the body, the grease block the movements in the capillaries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So absorption of mineral is almost impossible because if you eat a lot of these fatty foods, fried foods, even if they're vegetables, right?
Yeah.
They build up this layer within the lower and inner
Yeah,
intestines.
the acid. What
right?
the acid does, it causes the body to actually
block up.
build mucus,
Mucus, to block up
protect
the-
itself against the acid, and then the mucus now, the bacteria forms within the mucus and
Mucus.
create disease. Because when the mucus take over your immune system, they say you have AIDS, but it's just mucus. It's not
Yeah.
really AIDS. They
No.
want to give all these names to all these
Well,
diseases.
To make you feel.
But it's really-
we're not clinical, so I cannot say that because we don't have
The
I don't
body-
have-
the body-
No, I can't go upon hearsay information about those things, right? 'Cause
No, this
I'm
is
not a
thing what I've tried
virologist.
and tested.
No, I'm not a virologist.
by
And I-
actually eating
No, but
what
unless
is
you
not
unless
to be eaten and drinking herbs.
Nakanyah,
that is not to
Yeah.
be eaten.
Nakanyah.
And
Unless
then drinking the ones that
unless
I'm
you can
talking
prove
about.
somebody having that disease, and you know that for a fact, and then prove that you gave them something and they no longer have that. We cannot make any of those claims. Those are erroneous claims that cannot be substantiated. This channel isn't a channel to promote other people's idea. We're following the Spirit of the Most High God and presenting quantifiable thoughts so the people can think for themselves, not promote an ideology or an agenda. You understand me? What I was trying to say clearly is that when people eat fried foods, right, a lot of fried foods, not belief system, it blocks your capillaries, and there's an inability for your body to absorb the actual nutrients of the foods you're trying to consume, the foods you just fried and consume them. Your body is fighting, it cannot absorb it because of the grease in the body, the oils. It is blocked in the capillaries, so it cannot absorb the nutrient value in the tempura. It cannot absorb the nutrient value in the vegetables. So behaviors affect your health. It is not just their concoctions out there to hurt you. Your choices in your biology, listening to what your body tells you you should and should not consume. You vomited the last time you had it. Listen to your biology, not psychology, your biology. You vomited the last time you had it. You ended up in the hospital the last time you had it. That is improper if you should place it in your body. Again, that is unhealthy. Not to say meat is unhealthy, or alkaline is perfectly healthy, or acidic is unhealthy. We're saying your biology speaks to you because we are the temple of the living God. The Spirit of the living God dwells within us. When you listen to the Spirit, it is what is your life. It tells you you are walking too much thinking you're making yourself healthy. You're running too much on those treadmills thinking you're making yourself healthy. You're taking too much supplements. You're taking too much shake. You're mixing too much beta carotenes. You are mixing too much elements together with a philosophical view of health, and you are not healthy. That is what we're talking about. Not belief systems on health. Your body, the different human beings will have different biology. Cultures, environments affect what is healthy to consume. There's no one diet for all human beings. These things we must remember before we go off into ideologies on food.
Yeah, because only you can heal yourself.
Absolutely.
One can heal you.
So be healthy.
You know how to heal yourself. So there's no outside being where you need outside of yourself that is going to show you how to heal yourself. Because your body is going to tell you exactly what it wants and what it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Right?
Kusha.
So if we're coming from from the inner man perspective, where there's no you're your own refuge. You don't really need anything outside of yourself in order to heal yourself, because only you can heal yourself.
Absolutely.
It's based on your mind to heal yourself, because you program your own subconscious, the thoughts become healing, you see me? But it just has to be in the spirit, you see me? So it can't be in the mind to heal yourself, it's in the spirit to relax, you know? To relax is one of those
You're going to be
things.
guided to the plant, you're going to be
Yeah.
guided to what you're to do,
Yeah.
you're going to be guided by the spirit. The spirit of
I know, and then the point is, when you listen to your spirit are going to tell you that eat natural, that's not animals or anything. Water. Yeah, that's natural. Because the spirit is the spiritual plant, you know. So if you are the spirit I can go to the natural nature, and you can eat a little leaf and good for the day. When I eat 2 leaves I feel alive, I vomit. Eat again and I vomit, and I eat and I don't vomit, I'm going to start right. I'm going to stop eating meat for a while. I'm going to start into a different energy. So what happens is you have to kill off your acid out of your body, because the acid is attacking us, because you've been adapted to your early child, you know. So when you de-acid yourself, you have to be in a different meditation.
Well, you know, vomiting is a good thing.
You know, vomiting pursues yourself because it cleanses. Like not only ayahuasca.
And it makes you do-do.
Yeah, do a lot. Detachation, alright. Yeah. Once you have a great detachation, you cleanse your whole body. Detachation, eat less fasting, drink a lot of water, and take a lot of plant medicine and herbal food. And that's the only way. And a lot of root drinking. It's like dirt root, dig out some roots to build back your fertilizer, you know. You start can reproduce and make children, you know what I mean? You need to gotta make children, you know what I mean? But when my auntie come from Africa, but usually are Jamaica, but when she there Africa, there is a plant that can make woman period up to 70, 80, 100. Women live over 100 in Africa, you know, because of the healthy lifestyle and the environment and the food what you eat. Africa is the most greatest healthy food from the motherland. The food that they grow in Africa is different food what they grow in Jamaica, because it's called mega food. You have big banana, big mango, blood clot.
Yeah, the cancer and the Ebola curing AIDS and cancer. Yeah. So relieving the mucus amount of the body, you know, cancer is not a reality. So once the mucus moves out of your lungs, it's not, you have lung cancer, but it's gone out of your lungs, so you're free now.
Excuse me, brother, pronouncing
Nakanyah. It's not Jeremiah and it's not Isaiah. It's Nakanyah.
Brother Nakanyah. Yes, yeah, man, cause one of the main things when you say like why your health affect your state of mind. Me see a man, him then a good health and strong, and him just proud and puff up, you see me? And me see him when him catch a cold, and me just see him down and just humble and meek. And me I say, look at that man. Look how cool.
Now him eating
him just
alkaline,
humble
but him
him.
thinking acidic.
You
So
know?
you must forget sick before the acid, the alkaline thought come back.
Because the most I
before I let him
sometimes,
finish
the
his
most
thought.
I allow people to get sick, for humble them. You see me? Bring them down from them high chair, high and mighty. Just take them down. For just say, oh, humble and wise, man. You see me? You go too hard. You see me? Because when me just see because the person gets sick, me just see them whole countenance, everything change. Just call them sick. And cause you know, when you're sick in a corona times, you know, people will look down upon you too, you know? So it like him feel like people are look down upon him and, you know?
Yes.
And I said, John was supposed them catch it and, you know? So
But it really bring him down from a high place. I guess that's like, in a situation that maybe just bad habits or just an unfortunate
And now
situation.
that,
But he needed to be humble.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm going to
I
add a
totally
point
understand
too.
that, brother.
I want to add a point. I want to make a perfect point. Before COVID-19, everybody that usually thick and them thing. If you thick, you know how to heal, right? But enough time you thick, your inner time tell you what is the problem. And if it comes to the food you eat and nothing, other things, cause of the environment, the people you're part with, everybody eat active, you know. If 50 people eat active, the whole 50 people absorb each other active and thickness, you know. So it's an energy we share with and we eat with all attitude up and with attitude people in your mind. It kind of then corrupt chaos and toxic, you know. So when you think of a negative vibration and feel because it's in the subconscious, rigging in your conscious, and the food belly top poisoning, they make the music, you know, and people put influential thought that give more destructive, you know what I mean? So it's beyond under control, you know what I mean? So it just have to change the food awareness and the spiritual awareness within themselves. Continue.
You know, I agree with what Shane was saying earlier, because your thoughts is the root of everything. So it's how you think is going to determine what you're going to go to the supermarket and buy.
Exactly.
You know, if you're not thinking alkaline, or you're not thinking vegan, or you're not thinking vegetarian, or whatever level of consciousness you're at the time, you know, if you're not thinking about healthy or whatever it is, wherever you are in your stage of evolution, then it's what you're thinking that is, you know, as a man thinketh, so it's the same way when you judge other people. It's the same thing you're doing and you're not realizing it, because you're trying to assess their intentions when you can't know their intentions unless you ask them. You only can assess why you would have done it. So you're obviously just judging yourself, because nothing is ever really personal. You know, so when we're coming back to a stage of consciousness and we're looking at, okay, we don't need Dr. Seala or anyone else to tell us the truth, but we can identify with the truth if it's coming from a white man, if it's coming from an atheist, or if it's coming from a Christian, or if it's coming from someone who doesn't really have any beliefs. As long as it's the truth, it's still going to be the truth.
Gary, Nakanyah, you were finishing up your point about, you know, the choices affecting the biology.
Yeah. So we're looking at not what we eat affects how we think, but how we think affects what we
you eat.
Right? So if we are not thinking positive, we're not going to eat positive. We're not going to feel positive, because it's impossible to feel bad and be thinking good. If you were thinking good, you would be feeling good, and then you would be eating good, and then you would be doing good, and everything would just be good. But you know, you want to blame the music that you hear for the way you behave. You want to blame what you're eating for the way you behave. You want to blame everything but you for the way you behave. So no, I just wanted to take responsibility, because you are the tree of life. And the tree of life must live forever. Because in Genesis it was clearly spoken. Don't let them eat from the tree of life, or else they're going to live forever. So we are looking at what the tree of life is, and how when we're thinking positive, we're going to eat positive, and when we're eating positive, it's going to make us think positive. If we're eating bad, it's going to make us think negative. even if
Yes,
we're
sir.
thinking positive.
That's better, man.
Cause what brother
Nakanyah.
Nakanyah is saying, you see, because true me just used to the name, you know.
Yeah.
What I must say is right, you see me? What we eat, what we think about determine we state of we health, you see me? But me I point out to the next fact, is our next dimension to it now, you know.
Absolutely.
If a
goes
man
both ways.
Hold on.
if a man meet in an accident and him cripple from head to toe, all him can do a blink and suck juice through straw. You see me? For him mind, I got think about some things what he might not positive for you. You see me?
But if he thinks
Just
about
because
health,
I'm
he
health.
can bring himself back.
No, I'm just saying, you see me? Just because
the miracle man.
in at the same time
Yes,
when it
yes.
happen, and him a feel it, him wake up, just wake up back in a hospital. You see me? They must say, John, oh, you meet in an accident.
You never walk again, he might get
Never.
depressed
What?
and start thinking negative.
Because I'm health,
Yeah.
him state of mind are gonna change.
Yeah, and if he's
Than if him be
pessimistic,
healthy,
yeah.
him state of mind different. Him not think about certain things. But no, him there another state there now. It no matter if him the alkaline all him want, you see me? And I live all the best life him a live and healthy. Once him cripple, you see me? Accident happen. Food no have nothing to do with that. You see me?
Yeah.
Accident happen. The man mind a go start think different if him not have Christ for hold on to. For bring him through that. Him mind a go gone negative. You see me? Anybody come around, him not even want to see nobody. You see me?
Ah, Seala.
Because the essence of it, as you're saying, is that there has to be something more that humans can draw upon to change the biological tendencies and the psychological tendencies.
Yeah.
Because just as you said, the man had caught the cold and then him came down from his high horse, because his biology could no longer support even that elevated state of his own puffed upness, right?
Right.
Because it's an illusion. And so many times I guess people eat, drink, live for the illusion. And health suffers. I guess ultimately one's faith is like the groundation. And so your faith now can inform you beyond your intelligence and your experiential life of what is the best path to take.
True.
In the living God and His ministry and His salvation is the truth. So maybe you and I might contract an unknown disease beyond what is already recorded. And the only way we'll get out of that is not to wait 100 years for the scientific community to catch up, but it's to trust in the Holy Spirit. And if it says, do this, do that, trust in your Creator, you will be healed. How much time have we heard of genuine miracles in the biological health being transformed, the well-being of the individual being transformed, the minds being transformed? So ultimately, your faith really affects the mental pattern, affects the biological pattern. Your health does affect your state of mind, but also your faith affects the whole experience of your biological and your psychological.
You have to remember, it also sometimes the mind is a metaphysical science. If you have a good, pure consciousness and you know the positive vibration, then there's no pain or disease, there's no physical thing can stop you because it's the mind. So once you reach the highest ultimate of the mind, you become a magician. And how magicians study about mental energy and Tai Chi energy and know how to transmute positive to negative, negative to positive, you know. I know how to deal with all the outside energy transmuted inside energy towards the physical space, you know what I mean? Just like when she said that when you eat any food, you know, before you eat the food, what you do?
Correct.
Alright, and the mental turn, so, and there's so much things going on in the spiritual world that manifest in the physical that fights in the mind of the energy field of manipulation.
Attesting also to the powers of the mind. We're looking at Bruce Lee. We see Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee on YouTube playing ping pong with his nunchuckles, playing against one professional ping pong player and then two and still beating them with his nunchuckles, him alone. Then we see him, his kicks are so fast like lightning that even when you slow them down 10,000 times, you still can't see them. You just see people dropping without his knee moving. You know? So we find that the powers of the mind, we're looking at a man who was kicked in his back and crippled, and the powers of his mind made him walk again when doctors told him that he couldn't walk. So we know that every time when your body fails, your mind has to fail, because you might have a optimistic mind.
Right.
If you have a pessimistic mind, then you're going to kill yourself. because the negative thought is gonna bring forth that negative, release those negative pheromones and hormones in your body that's gonna make your cells deplete even faster. But if you're thinking about health when you're actually sick, your brain is gonna start connecting neurotransmitters, and serotonin is gonna be releasing from the brain, and these type of things that heal the body. So we know that we're looking at the power of the mind and how it affects what you're going to eat, and what you're going to eat, how it's going to affect the power of your mind. So what you're eating is, you see, if you're thinking alkaline and you're eating a lot of acid, it's not going to affect you as bad as someone who is thinking acidic and eating acidic. Right? But it's still going to affect you.
Oh, that's
because you're going to notice mucus building up, and you're going to notice you're not meditating as much, and you're going to notice that you're not really in the vortex. You're not really in that zone like how you'd like to stay in that zone.
They call it
kind of lowering your vibration.
They call it optimum health, and truth is optimum health different from individuals, differ from individuals.
Unless your chemical blood makeup is one that needs meat.
Yes.
Because you have some people are like
that's what I'm saying.
That's why they look for the alkaline meats.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like the goat,
the culture has been there. The kosher and the halal culture has been there to identify that there is truly these differentials, right? And again, be wise in your choices of the foods you're consuming, the thoughts you're having, and the lifestyle you're living, because it all comes back to the health. Your faith now would put all of that in perspective.
And it can supersede that. Your faith will supersede everything.
Yes, exactly.
But faith is like the mustard seed that moves the mountain.
Exactly. It puts everything into a process.
Because you can be eating acidic and thinking acidic, and just by faith you will still make it through.
Yes.
So none of that will matter.
It will matter to the degree that if your faith is strong. You could even have died a million times and it still wouldn't matter as long as your faith brought you through.
But hold on, that's the next point. Hold on, that's the next point. If you know how to die by the mind in everything alive, then you will become more immortal physically in life, because that remove all the false death or spell, you know. So there's no death. But you know that in faith you live forever, what your vision sees.
Love what lasts every lifetime.
So man can live over 1,000 and 10,000 if it's predictable, knowing yourself that alignment within the nature of creation, you know what I mean? So just because of the modern religion block your spiritual process and not let you grow spiritual fully to be with the natural way of life.
I always have an issue sometimes with that, suggesting that in this time there's more blockage in some regard than others. That's all age of resistance. The fact is, we've always been philosophical, right? But what should history, life teach us? Not somebody's interpretation. No matter how brilliant a man is, woman is, they'll die. We'll all die, right? So when we're saying the humans will live for such and such a time, we have to clearly find that it's something philosophical.
Well, versus, I think
because hold on, because if we're going to talk about immortality, this is what we're talking about. This is not illusions, and we can be caught up in spiritual belief systems. If you're going to tell me about immortality, you're going to have to show me a human being who's been here since the dawn of time. Let's don't speak about a belief system, because it's unfathomable for you to say, oh, I'm going to live 10,000 years. How is that possible that you're going to live 10,000 years? Where is the person that has been living 10,000 years? Bring those people before us and say, and show us, because only they can tell us what 10,000 years has been like. If not, it's a belief system. So we can talk about the psychological belief of what humans have. So when we're talking about health, we cannot be philosophical about health. There's no one brush. There is no one brush that will represent health, because it is
ineffable. You're right.
So therefore, the best we can do is remind. The best we can do on this platform is to remind individuals of the power of their choices that affects them, and to root your choice in your faith, because we have established that our faith is not a belief, it's an understanding and a knowing of what is actual. We're not here at Trail Life talking about religious belief system. We're talking about what is real in the earth, not fantasy, not belief.
That was one of the topics.
Right? And so in essence, when you understand life as it actually is, the gift of God manifests, and your faith teaches you how to appreciate it, how to respect it in life. That is what we are reminding people of, Because a Jew looking at us cannot understand from the cultural edicts
yeah,
or the
something
belief systems
substantial that they can
or the
hold
belief
on to.
systems that we
Yeah,
hold as
can't
Christians.
lim-
But if we are
limit.
representing a quantifiable truth, it allows individuals to look in the nature of
Okay.
their lives
I am the truth
and see
and the way and the life.
Christ is
And no
the truth,
one
the
he
way
that has
and the
seen me
life.
has seen the Father.
Exactly.
I and the Father is one.
Exactly.
And no one cometh to the Father but by the Son.
Exactly. And so,
Even those in the darkness will still see the light.
and so that is where we're going to leave it today. Reasons Right at the Tree of Life. We're going to leave it into the light of clarity and the one in whom our faith is, to give pureness of thought, pureness of being, health, well-being, wholeness of nature. Until next time, Reasons Right at the Tree of Life, the Great House, Brother Ramon Singh, Nakanyah, Benny Blue Diamond,
Habaraya Farah.
the mystic Bob himself, Victoria sitting in the foreground, and Brother Nick somewhere around in the city. We give thanks to your life in a glorious name. Love and blessings. Perfect love. Majestic, perfect love.